This is your Start Here page in your child development courses in Canvas. You found it by going to the very first module, and it says Start Here. So I'm glad you found it. And we're just going to walk through some expectations about the program in your courses in child development here at Western. So I'll read it to you and I'll elaborate on some things as we go. Start here by reading all of the important information on this page and then the whole module. Yes, the whole first module is full of very important information that you need to move forward, and a lot of the pages have videos that go with them to walk you through it even further. Students are expected to familiarize themselves with all information in the module and will be held accountable for it. It is highly recommended that you download the Canvas app on your phone and set up notifications that can remind you of due dates and alert you to class announcements and graded assignments. And we'll elaborate on each of those later, but there is a help screen in Canvas that can give you some tutorials on things, and there are also lots of YouTube videos on how to do things in Canvas. So to get that set up on your phone, you can see one of those. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is read the syllabus, and it can be found on the syllabus page, and it's going to give you all kinds of important student information about class outcomes, about NACE, that's who we're accredited by, and about college policy information. So you do need to make sure you read all of that and are familiar, especially with some of the specific class policies. So class assignments. This is not a self-paced or correspondence course. So that means that you don't get all of your assignments for the whole semester at one time for you to do as you like. New information and assignments are posted each week. You've got a week to complete them. It's an online learning community, so please don't expect assignments for the semester to be posted ahead of time. Like I just said, I set the pace for the course or any other instructor in an online course. Students do have the option to look ahead to the weekly modules and read the learning objectives and assignments. That's usually another Start Here page, is how they're titled. And that will give you some idea of what's coming up. If you want to get ahead in your textbook readings, but your assignments are not going to be open. And also for classes that have a key assessment, students have access to the entire instructions from the very beginning of the semester. And you are expected to familiarize yourself with these from the beginning of the course, because there might be some special arrangements to get that key assessment done that you need to be making ahead of time. A key assessment, as is described on the key assessment page, is a big culminating project of the course. However, you can't wait till the end of the course to do it, because there are things that you need to do to pace yourself along the way, like plans that you have to make, and then things you have to implement in a classroom. And then you've got to have time after that to assess and write for some of them. So you can't just think, oh, I'm going to put that off to the last 2 weeks of class, I can write next, because there are things you have to do. Anyway, that's the key assessment. You can read about that on that page. Weeks typically take a similar format of textbook reading or reading and watching of posted learning materials, participating in a class discussion, 1 or 2 assignments, and sometimes those relate to the key assessment but are not the key assessment itself. And that's it. That's basically each week. Assignments have due dates for a reason. Many assignments build on one another, and getting behind can lead to not understanding concepts on future assignments, or it might leave you without enough time to complete steps to projects. So students are expected to submit by the due date. While Canvas offers several ways you can access your assignments, like by going to the syllabus, you can see them there. You can see assignments on grades. You've got your awesome to-do list. I love the little to-do list that you can see from your homepage, and it feels so good to click things off of it. However, those are not the best way to get to your best ways to get to your assignment, because you're not going to have all the information you need to complete the assignment. It's just the assignment, but it doesn't tell you what you need to read, doesn't tell you what you need to watch. So make sure that you're going into modules to access your assignments every week. Assignment rubrics are going to help you know exactly how your assignments will be graded. Open those rubrics, look at them. What do I have to do to get full points? What's going to happen? How many points are going to be taken off if I don't do this? So just make sure you're reading rubrics for all assignments. Unless for some reason I tell you otherwise, I want all assignments turned in using Times New Roman 12-point font, and it should be in black. Other colors can be hard to read, so can other fonts sometimes and other sizes. So just Times New Roman 12-point font, please. Note that in most modules, there is a discussion in which students are to respond to a prompt and comment to follow students. There's a whole separate document outlining the expectations of class discussion. And you're expected to read and be familiar with these instructions, so you're not surprised. For most writing assignments in child development classes, students will be expected to synthesize their own answers and then support these answers by referencing chapter readings or course materials or your own personal research. You should give credit to these sources by correctly citing them. So you're going to think back to your English composition class. And there's also information about including APA citations in the resources module for each class. Actually, it's not in resources, sorry, it's in this very first module. I have no preference as to whether you use APA or MLA for formatting for citations. So choose the one you're the most comfortable with. If these are foreign letters to you, they shouldn't be, because your high school English teacher should have had you do a research paper and you should have had to cite sources of where you found that research using APA or MLA formatting. And all it is rules for how you give the author information, how you give the source information. And if you haven't taken Comp 1 yet, English 1013 here yet, no, 1113, sorry, they'll teach you that in that class. So if you haven't already taken it, make sure you do pay attention, because that stuff is going to come back up throughout your college career, not just in your child development class. They'll expect you to cite information. So, I mean, really, it's all about anything that doesn't come from your own brain needs to be cited. Okay, so we are looking for when you do assignments, I am looking for answers that are opinions that you've developed based on what you learned, and then I want you to support those opinions with evidence. And you've got to give credit to that evidence. Otherwise, it is stealing. It's called plagiarism. It's serious offense, and it is stealing. So make sure you give credit. This is a good time to mention that artificial intelligence, AI, is not your words. So if you try to pass them off as your words, that is plagiarism. So if you use AI, I don't know that I would consider that a reliable source, but if you decide to use AI, you need to cite it as well. I'm not sure how what that citation looks like, but if you're going to use it, you can look it up and learn how to cite it. I get that there are advantages to AI. Sometimes they can help you develop ideas and then know where to look more in depth for something. But you should not be using AI to create answers in any way. You've got a very important job working with children, and we need to know what you know in order to do so. And so please just don't try to use AI. Also, a lot of our assignments are created in a way in these courses are created where you're going to write about your own experiences, because you're getting field experiences in your classes. And so really most of your answers should be more personal than AI can create. And so yeah, just try to stay away from that and let us know what you know. That's what we care about. We don't care if it's perfect and polished writing. Of course, I'm a former English teacher, so I'm going to help you find ways to have good polished writing, but we want to know what you know and what your opinions are. So moving on. When grading written assignments, your instructor often provides valuable feedback that can help you improve on future assignments or possibly give suggestions about something you are facing at work. Like I just said, these are personal answers most of the time, and you might write about something that's going on at work. It takes time for your instructors to leave these comments, and they're for your benefit. Since this is an online class, I can't answer your questions in front of everyone. I can't give you immediate feedback. The way I give feedback is when I grade assignments. So please read them. You can check them by opening the graded assignments tab in the grades page and reading the comments. Sometimes, so they're submission comments, and sometimes all the information you have is there. Sometimes I'll say, open the document for more details. You might open it even if I don't say that. I could forget to say that. But sometimes there are comments, because if you open the document, like I can highlight a certain sentence, make specific comments on that. So there are more details in there sometimes. That's also where sometimes, because I'm a former English teacher, I'm going to make some grammatical corrections. I'm not downing you. I'm not trying to to make you feel bad about your writing. I'm trying to help you because it is important that we use proper grammar and punctuation. You're going to be communicating with coworkers and with parents. You're going to send notes home to parents. You want to make sure that they're written in a way that they can understand and get your message across clearly, and that make you look good. You want to look like a professional because you're becoming one. So when I point out grammatical errors, just know that it's for your own benefit. Okay. So I sometimes, going right here, sometimes comments from the instructor will be about an issue with the submission of the assignment that the student needs to address before it can be graded. So make sure you're checking those regularly, because there have been times that, I haven't been able to open a file, or the student clearly misunderstood the directions and I want to give them another chance. And so I leave a submission comment and then weeks go by and I don't hear from them. Well, I don't understand why they weren't wondering why they didn't have a grade for that assignment. So check your grades if you don't have a grade in those 7 days, after 7 days, then, which is when we're supposed to get our grades back to you, then check and see that submission comment. Maybe there's a reason. Okay, except in the case of assignments that will be included in your portfolio, you don't have to make any of the corrections recommended. They're just there for you to learn from. However, if it's an assignment that's going to go in your portfolio, you want that to be a polished, finished product. So do make those corrections then. Class announcements. Read class announcements on a regular basis. For a class that does not meet in person, this is the instructor's only way of reaching students. Students are held accountable for any information posted in class announcements. Please do not ignore class announcements. Since child development classes are 100% online, it is your instructor's only way of getting valuable information to you. I view not reading class announcements as skipping class, because you're missing what I would be telling you in an in-person class, and we don't have that. So announcements are the only way I can get a hold of you. Class communication. Between campus inbox or email, campus inbox is preferred. Please be very specific in the assignment or the issue you are writing about. This will help you get a more timely response, because your instructor will not then have to ask more questions and then wait for a reply, and then you wait for another reply, and it just goes on and on. Always put a brief note in the subject line of communications with others. If you do choose to use email instead of campus inbox for some reason, your school email is what is preferred. If you choose not to use your student email, make sure that you sign your name, because sometimes personal emails don't include a name, and maybe it's something, a nickname or something, but I don't know who you are. So just make sure that it's obvious. Include in your message what class you are writing about. If you use inbox, the class is attached, but if you use email, I might not know off the top of my head, especially at the beginning of the semester, which class you're in, or even sometimes later, because sometimes you're in multiple classes, so I don't know which one you're referring to, or I have all of you several times throughout your program, and sometimes I can't remember off the top of my head which class you're in at that time. So, and this is true for all your instructors. Somebody might be teaching 3 different sections of Comp 1. They need to know which one you're in so that they can answer questions specific to that class. If you're asking about an assignment, use the name as it's given in Canvas so that it's easy to find and for me to know what you're talking about. Include a helpful subject line. This is true when communicating via email with anyone. Use a subject line. For any other questions about the course, please feel free to call Mrs. Sturgeon. Contact information can be found on the Canvas homepage, which you've already seen, and on the syllabus. The frequently asked questions may be helpful to answer any questions too. Those are some of the ones, those are on the website. If you need any help or have some type of complication, please let your instructor know. Everyone in the program is here to assist you. Our goal is to have you finish this course successfully, and we want you to do well. You must let us know if you're having any complications. Do not wait until it's too late to ask for help. And we have no way of knowing. So you've got to reach out, please. And reach out before it's too late. So that reminds me that one thing I should have said about submission comments. When you submit an assignment, you have the option of leaving a submission comment. That is not the place to ask for help. because I'm not going to see that till I go grade your paper. If you need help, you need to Canvas inbox me or email me or call me or hop on the Zoom. The submission comment's not the place to ask for help on those assignments. But anytime you're struggling with something, reach out. Don't at the end of the semester say, this never worked for me. We can't do anything about it then. So please know that we're here. And when I say we, I mean me and the adjuncts, our scholars coordinator, we're all here to help you. So just stay motivated. You've got this and you're going to do great.